He came to tell me sad news.
Monica Vinquist recalls the day police came to her home.
It was my nightmare come true.
An escaped mental patient had brutally murdered her daughter.
It's a black cloud that no one deserves.
It sits in the heart of Phoenix. A 90-acre compound, high walls, razor wire, security cameras, the Arizona State Hospital.
Being right here in the middle of Phoenix does create its own set of challenges.
230 patients, the criminally insane, violent sex offenders. Hospital CEO Corey Nelson says none of them here by choice.
We've designed our facility to make sure that those individuals stay within the confines.
But insiders say there are gaping holes in security.
They got rid of a lot of the security force. We worry for the public at that point.
At times, this can be a pretty dangerous place.
It's a place where anything can happen on any given day.
The day, May 17, 2011. Just before midnight, Jesus Marietta pulls a badge off an employee's neck, gets past security, out of the building, and into the night. 3 months later, Marietta was arrested for murdering Monica's daughter, April Mott. Her throat was slit, her body covered in bruises.
I did get to say goodbye, and there was a closure.
Marietta pled guilty. His sentence, 22 years in prison. Nelson was hired after the murder.
We've added some more fencing and cameras, and every time that we identify an area that is a potential risk, we try to remediate that risk.
But the ABC15 investigators dug through thousands of public records, police logs, incident reports, and federal inspection forms. We found 16 escapes in the past 3 years.
Do you consider that a problem?
It's a problem, and we take those very, very seriously.
Of the 16 escaped patients, 3 were criminally insane. Just last year, they caught one escapee at a crowded Jack in the Box across the street. Listen to this warning from an insider who asked not to be identified for fear of retaliation.
He could have taken somebody hostage. He could have done all kinds of horrific things.
Another criminally insane patient was loose for 24 hours. He escaped on a field trip at Castles and Coasters, where patients were escorted to play miniature golf.
With the lack of security now, I think that the incidences of AWOLs and escapes are going to rise.
But what insiders find so surprising, after April Mott's murder, the number of security guards at the hospital was cut. Not increased, cut by more than half, from 110 to 50. That's 60 security guards gone.
What you get when you have a large security department like that is you actually end up with a false sense of security.
You don't feel that fewer security guards raise the risk of more AWOLs or escapes?
Absolutely not.
Nelson has a new approach to security. He cut those 60 guards so he could increase the number of staff who provide patient care.
We're going to be so much better off.
He points out it's a hospital, not a prison. The goal is treatment, not incarceration. And mental health experts agree there should be a balance between the number of staff who provide treatment and enough guards who provide security.
We have worked on filling those 60 positions with staff members who are actually working with the patients.
But as of today, that simply has not happened. Records show there are actually fewer direct care staff now than there were before security was cut. In fiscal year 2012, the hospital had 416 people doing direct care. Today, they have 409. And this is not a budget issue. Nelson says the hospital's budget has not been cut.
Everything that was promised as far as putting the extra techs on the floor, having the nurses more involved, beefing up the campus support, none of that has happened.
And documents show there have been 3 escapes since the security cuts began.
Well, it hasn't alleviated the problem.
Right, but it hasn't increased the problem either.
It's too early to tell if the new approach will work, but nearly a dozen insiders told us they have doubts.
What would you say about the security at the hospital right now?
There really isn't any.
Has it failed?
It has failed miserably.
There needs to be some sort of accountability.
April's sister Sharon and her mother say nothing can replace what they've lost.
You haven't filed a lawsuit. Why haven't you decided to kind of push this in the courts?
If I take all their money, then how are they going to protect the next kid?
That's more important to you.
It is more important, because that could have been anybody's child. That could have been my grandchild. That could have been your parent.
The budget for the state hospital is roughly $70 million this year. And as for the escapes, right now on our website, ABC15.com, we've put up details for every single escape and how the patients got away. I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15 News.